we will start the analysis of the CS amplifier and then try to understand the working of the entire amplifier frequency response and try to obtain its frequency response using LT spice. And not only by simulating the circuit as it is, let us write the AC equivalent circuit and also write a voltage dependent current source and proceed. This is I hope this is fine with all of you. Let me write CC also here. Okay, let us go back to circuit diagram. Okay, let me write this as CGDO, CGSO. This is gate terminal, gate, source, drain. Therefore, this is grounded. Okay, let me show you the same thing in the circuit diagram. Let me take out. Okay, let me share this first. Stop it. Okay, just have a look at this. Just try to understand the values of R1, R2, all those stuff. Let me just make this. Okay, this is the value of R1, R2. One of you can tell me what is the parallel combination of R1, R2? So R1 parallel R2. Of course, now it is 100k, sorry, 1000k in parallel with 800k. 1000 exponential 3 inverse plus 800 exponential 3 inverse, whole inverse. Is it
444.4 kilo?
Perfect. So it is 444k. So neglecting that 400 ohm. Correct. So this is the value of R1. Okay, R in. Okay, can somebody tell me what is the CGDO value and CGSO value? Because CGDO is nothing but it is in terms of farad. So how do we find out in terms of farad? So whatever that value that is given is farad per meter. Farad per meter. So then this would be CGDO farad per meter multiplied by width of the transistor. So now it is 100 nano farad per meter multiplied by what is the width of the transistor. You can see the width of the transistor is 450 micrometer. It is 450 micrometer. Then this meter will go off. You will end up with how much is that? 100 exponential minus 9 into 450 exponential minus 6. It is 45 picofarad. So don't write it as 4.5 into 10 power 11 minus 11. Write it as 45 pico. Let the unit be in terms of either micro, pico, nano, something like that. So don't put it in terms of other than minus 9, minus 12, minus 6. Since the CGSO is also same, so this CGSO will also be in terms of farad, 45 picofarad. Correct? Am I fine? Is this correct? Hello? Can somebody unmute?
Yes, sir.
Okay, these are the values of CGDO and CGSO. R1, R2 we already know. Can somebody find out what is GM? GM is equal to under root of 2ID Kp W by L. Okay, I'll just simplify your calculation by knowing the value of ID from dot OP. What I'll do is let me just take out this and say this dot OP and then save and run. What is the current here? So this is the current. Is it 720 microampere? ID 720 microampere. Of course, one of you can find out what is the value of ID sat also. What is ID sat expression? Half Kp W by L VGS minus VTO whole square. So these are all very critical, which are very useful in understanding the concept. So don't study anything in terms of keeping your examination into mind. So what is GMA is 2.54.
Yes, sir. Millisecond.
How about this ID? ID is it 720 micro?
Yes, sir.
WL 45.
Yes, sir. 45.
It is, let me just verify it. It is okay, under root of 2 into ID is 720 exponential minus 6 into 200 exponential minus 6 into what is WL 45. Close it. It is 3.6 mm.
GM is 3.6 millisecond.
Then how do you give a different answer? Does all of you get 3.6 millisiemens? How much is VGS, by the way? VGS is equal to 1 point, this is actually 1.8. This is 1000. This is 800. Is it 1.8 into 800 divided by 1800? It is now 1.8 into 18. Sorry, 800 divided by 1800. Is it 0.8? It is 0.8 volt. VTH is 0.4. Some of you can verify what is the value of ID. So which will be 100 exponential minus 6 into 45 into 0.4 whole square, which is okay. It's around. Is that fine? What is the value of ID? Let me just go back to circuit and then try to verify. It is 1.8, which is V2 is 0.4. Am I correct? Hello. This is 0.8. You can see this is VG. So it is now 100 exponential minus 6 into 45 into 0.8 minus 0.4 square. Yeah, this is perfect. You can see that it's 720. I want all of you to calculate, I say. Okay, I have the value of ID sat as 0.72 milliamperes, or it is 720 microampere. 720 microampere. Okay, let me just try to simulate this circuit as it is. That is not this one. Okay, let me just take out this. Take out this also. Okay, if I do dot AC of this, see here, this is I'm starting with maybe you just start with 10 Hertz, go up to 1 gigahertz, or just make it up to 10 megahertz, 10 MEG, because we know that megahertz is is edited as MEG. It's not capital M. So shall we find out what is the since it is very high, what I do, I just start from low frequency. So okay, let me just go from a very low frequency, which was 0.1. Let me just tell you the reason why it is so. Oh, sorry, not that. This is 100. I have to start from a low frequency. This should be 0. Not that number of points per decade. It's fine. How much is the expected gain? Can somebody calculate what is the value of gain? AV is equal to minus GM into RD, 2.16 volt per volt. In terms of dBs, 20 log of magnitude 2.16 is 6.68 dBs. Let us just verify that. Sorry. Can you see it is almost there? 6.4947. Hello. This is the gain. How much is the phase shift? Phase shift is minus 180 degree in the okay, mid band. That's what is negative. Done. So it is 6.68 dB at an angle of 180 degree. That is minus 180 degree, which corresponds to a negative value. So what I have is this now. What we are actually getting is 6.47 at an angle of minus 180 degree is the value of AV, both magnitude and the phase. This is in terms of dB. This is in terms of dBs. Can we find out what is the frequency response? This is what we have. At least okay, let me just say there is one more change in cutoff frequency. This is F1, F2, F3. How much is this? Is it 6.47 dB? What is the value of F1? Is it equal to 1 over 2 pi? Which are the values you are considering? Is it Cc into Rin? Am I correct? Then what is the value of F1? 1 over 2 pi, Cc is 0.1 micro, Rin is 444 kilo ohms. Can somebody calculate? Similarly find out what is F2. F2 is equal to 1 over 2 pi. Can somebody tell me what is the value of F2? Hello. Is it equal to R signal multiplied by Sin, where Sin is equal to CGSO plus CGDO into 1 plus AV magnitude, which comes out to be, upon doing the calculation, I already did the calculation, it comes out to be 187.2 picofarad. This is Sin. R signal is of course we are considering it as, you can see this is a signal resistance, there is a source resistance of the signal, which we considered as 10k. That can be edited here. Can you see here? Parasitic properties of this none source having a AC magnitude equal to 1, the series resistance is 10k. So this is like your source resistance. So I will make this R signal is 10 kilo ohms. Can somebody calculate what is this F1 and F2s? And also you can calculate what is F3, which is equal to 2 pi R out into C out, where C out is equal to CGDO into 1 plus 1 over AV, which I already calculated as 87, sorry, that capacitance is 65.83 picofarad. Which one you are telling? How much is F2? 3.58 hertz. Sorry, this was F1. 3.58 hertz. How about F2? Okay, let me just find out what is F2 is. 2 into pi into R signal is 10 How much is seen? Seen is 187.2 exponential minus 12. It is this value. Note that. Is it equal to 80.3 kilohertz? 80.7 kilohertz. Am I correct? Just verify, someone of you. One of you just verify. And this one is, no, whichever is dominant will be visible over there. How is this? R out, we know it as RD. R out is equal to RD is equal to 600 ohm. How much is that now? 2 into pi into 600 multiplied by C out is this 65.83 exponential minus 12. What that is, I think it is 4.0 megahertz, 4.02 megahertz. So if you look at this, these are the frequencies. This is 3.5 hertz, this is 80 kilohertz, and this happens to be 4 megahertz. This you may not get it because the change in slope may not be visible, but you can clearly see this frequency, which is f1, and the value of f2. Okay, let me just take one more cursor, place it on a point where this is 3 dB down. See, that difference should be 3 dB down. Am I there, close to it? You can see I'm there. Can you see the frequency? The typical frequency what we got using simulation is, let me write it using some other color, maybe red color simulation. It is 3.46 hertz. This is the frequency. Let me just show you that also. These are the things what we have. This is frequency in terms of hertz. This is the expectant value. This is what you're getting, and these are the values of f1, f2, f3s, and their corresponding values of capacitance and resistance values. This is of course 6.47 is the maximum gain, that is in midband. And let us see what is f2 is. F2 happens should be 80 kilohertz. As per this, let us go back to this and try to find out what is f2. Okay, this is f2. Let me just put it 3 dB down. You can see I'm there close to 3 dB down. Can you see it's almost 85 kilohertz? This is the frequency. We are expecting around 80 kilohertz. This is 85, which is not too far away. This is now equal to 85.5 kilohertz. 5 kilohertz difference in simulation and ideal values are far more very close to each other. So you can just treat it as almost equal to. You cannot see f3 because of the variation in the slope. So what we are looking at is what is the bandwidth. So what are the bandwidth of this amplifier now? It is now 80 kilohertz. 80 kilohertz is the bandwidth. Let us go back to the AC equivalent circuit and try to get the same values. Okay, is this the AC equivalent circuit? Just have a look at this. Okay, let me just have a look at this one now. Is this the AC equivalent of this amplifier? Can you see R1, R2? This VDD is grounded. So R1, R2 will come in parallel. This is 1000K and this is 100K. Sorry, 800K. The value of CC is 0.1 microfarad. CGDO, CGSOs are 45 picofarad. You have this GMS 3.6, and you can see this is RD, which is 600 ohms. So that's what is specified here. This is in LT-Spice. It is possible to have dependent sources also. This is one such dependent source. How do you get this is just go to sources, that is components. Can you see there is like, okay, G and G2. See, this G is voltage dependent current source. You can see this is how the arrow mark looks like. This is again, these two are same. You can just have a look at this. Okay, this is now G2. If I just go to G, you can see only this plus minus will differ. Plus minus will differ, nothing more. Both are voltage dependent current source. So what is this? What you have is, you have similar to that. So this is a source which depends on the voltage across this. This is actually VGS. This is VGS, no? So this current source magnitude depends on the VGS value, GM into VGS. So we need to specify the GM value that can be specified in this value. See here, there is a value which I just edited as 3.6, what we found as GM. So the value of GM which was found in the calculation over here, we actually found the value of GM to be 3.6 millisiemens. That's what I'm editing here. So let me just go back to this. You can see this is okay. Let me just try to put it in. Okay, this is now 3.6. Let me put this here. This is fine. Is it fine now? So we have this R1, R2s, 800K, 1000K, 0.1 microfarad. This is that AC source, 45 picofarad, 45 picofarad. If I do the frequency response of this, I should exactly get the same frequency response was what I had it earlier. You can see this is not relevant. Even you can remove that dot model file because there is no MOSFET present in your circuit. I can remove that, save it, and then run. Now this is the frequency response to what you got it for this amplifier. This is the equivalent circuit having the value of GM corresponding to this circuit, and of course you can see the values of R1, R2, RD are exactly transferred from this particular amplifier circuit. If I do the frequency response and if I see the output here, should exactly resemble this. So let me do that. See, now you have this. We had a gain of how much? 6.47 dB. Let me see what is the gain. Do you have the same gain? Can you see it is, this is my gain, 6.47. Here also you had the same gain. See here, this is also 6.47. This is of CS amplifier 1. This is of CS amplifier 1 AC analysis. So these two are totally different graphs, but they are identical because this is the equivalent circuit of this. So this is about the DC gain, the midband gain. Let us find the bandwidth. Bandwidth is how much? It was found that it is around 85.5 kilohertz. Let me move this so that it is 3 dB down. Just have a look at this 3 dB. Okay, I'm just coming down close to it. Are you there? You can see it's almost 3 dB down, which is close to this. Can you see the cutoff frequency is 85 kilohertz, which was almost there as 85.5 kilohertz. This says that the frequency response what you get it from this amplifier equivalent circuit is exactly as that of the amplifier. Or it is to say that an amplifier can be represented using a voltage dependent current source, and of course these are the parasitic capacitances. So what I'll do, let me also measure the other frequency. The other frequency was 3.46 hertz. Just have a look at this. This should be 3 dB down. I'll just go to 3 dB down, somewhere close to it. Okay, you are there, almost very close to that. You can see the frequency is 3.44 hertz. 3.44 hertz, and of course this is your midband. Don't worry about this. Okay, this frequency. Okay, what is the frequency? This is the frequency what you're looking at. This is the other frequency. This is your midband frequency. So this way we can able to say that whatever equivalent circuit, whatever AC equivalent circuit you have, that is this exactly represent the amplifier. So what we'll do is we will slightly change this circuit and then write the Miller equivalent. So how do we write the Miller equivalent? I will replace this floating capacitor onto C1 and C2, and then do the. Okay, let me first write the equivalent circuit. This is R signal. I have this CC. This is R in. This is C in, a single capacitor. So which is equal to CGDO plus 1 plus AV times, okay, this is CGSO into CGTO, and of course you have this GM into VGS, then you have this RD, and then Cout. This is RD and Cout. This is what you have. Okay, this Rin, what's the value of Rin? Can somebody tell me what is the value of Rin, Cin and Couts, so that I can edit here? One of you tell me. So what I'll do is I'll just save this as case analysis Miller capacitance. Control S. Miller. Using Miller's theorem, I can able to replace these two capacitors. I will just take out this capacitor and then put it over here. I will delete this. I will delete this. I will delete this. I will delete this also. I will replace. I will have only one resistor with equivalent value. How much is Rin? Hello. Okay, that's what is 444K. How much was Cin? Come on. It was just earlier written. No? Come on, I say. It was 187. 187 point.
187.
That's what I'm writing. 187 pico is pico. Okay, this is done. And then how about this C2 or Cout? Cout is 60. Someone is speaking. Other than who are not responding to the answers, please unmute yourself. Hello. Hello. I think they're not interested in the class. Let me just take this. Okay, F8, and then okay, this is F3. Just have some common sense to mute yourself so that the class is not disturbed. Is this fine? This is the equivalent circuit what we have. So this is 0.1 microfarad, 0.1 micro, 444K, 187 pico, 3.6 milli, 600 ohm, 80, sorry, how much is that? 65. How much is that? 65.83 picofarad. Is that fine? So we should end up with same frequency response. So I'll go back to this. Okay, this is with the Miller capacitance values. Save it. Let me close all of them. Let me close this. If I run it and see what the frequency response, I should exactly get the same thing. Oh, okay, this is fine. Is the DC gain there? Sorry, not the DC gain. Midband gain. This is this. Can you see it is 6.47? This is gain is 6.47. Let us verify the bandwidth. Bandwidth would be how much? 85 kilohertz. So I think we are almost there. Let me just take out this. This should be. Let us go for a. This should be 3 dB down. Can you see it's almost there? 88 kilohertz, which is very close. So 85, 88 is not too much of a difference because hardly 3 kilohertz. Okay, on this side it is. Okay, again 3 dB down. I'm supposed to get around 3.4 hertz. Can you say you are there? 3.4 hertz. 3.4 hertz is the F1 value. F2 value was around 88 kilohertz, which is the expected values. What I mean to say is this circuit. Let me just open the other one also. Wait. Miller. Let me just take out these things. See, now these are the circuit what we consider. This is your actual circuit. So this actual circuit can be represented by something like this. This is your equivalent circuit having CGDO, CGSO, R1, R2 coming in parallel. This is GM into VGS, and then you are splitting this capacitor onto either side. So this will become parallel with this. Of course, when I say this will become, it's equivalent. It will be coming parallel with this, and the other part of it will be coming over here, which will be resulting in this circuit. Where is that circuit? This is that circuit. So all the three circuit will end up with same frequency response, having same bandwidth, same gain, and of course these are all the equivalent circuits of the same amplifier. Okay, is that fine with all of you? Hello. Can we just see what is the impact of, suppose, let me just go back here. Where is my, okay. Suppose if I make this equal to 0 and this as, of course I'll just make both of them as, I'll just make this as 100, this is 4500 micro. What are the impact of this on your entire frequency response? Will it have an impact? Let me just close this, close this. Does this value vary? What is the impact overall? What was the frequency when it was 10 micro and 450 micro as the length and width? You had F1, F1 was 3 point something hertz, F2 was 80 kilohertz, 80 or 85, which may change. Suppose if I just go back to this, so you had 3.5, 80 and 4 megahertz. Does this 3 changes? How about F2 on F1? Okay, so this won't change. So does F2 change?
Yes, sir, F2 will change.
F2 will increase or decrease?
Decrease.
By how much? Approximately. Approximately it will be reduced by 10 times. Shall we go back and see it? This is the impact. What we are trying to do is, even though the gain remains same, the bandwidth is limited even due to the dimensions of the device. So I'll just go back to my schematic. Since it is having same ratio but the width of the transistor is increased by 10 times, let me see what happens to the bandwidth. It was earlier 80 kilohertz or 84, 85 kilohertz. Now you can see what is the impact of that. See, now here is, can you see it's again 6 point almost there, sorry, 6.34 dBs. Can you see again is almost there? How much is the bandwidth? So let me come down to 3 dB down. Can you see it's almost reduced by 10 times? 8.7 kilohertz from 88, 83 or 84 kilohertz. This is a major impact. So if at all, if you want to have an amplifier with good bandwidth, you have to have the dimension of the transistor should be as small as possible. So when I say dimension of the device means the width has to be as small as possible, because width will going to decide what is the parasitic capacitance. Correct? So this, because here, where is that? Here you can see this width. This width, instead of 450 micro, if it becomes 4500 micro, this will become 450 pico. Naturally this value of F2 will reduce by 10 times, and even the F3 value, because this is the bottleneck. So instead of 80 kilohertz you have 8 kilohertz, which is a very bad design. Is that understood? Of course, same thing repeats in other equivalent circuit. Instead of having 45 pico, you make it as 450 pico and then proceed, you'll get the same result. Done? Let us go back to this circuit again. So we have seen the impact of the dimension of the device. Dimension of the device will play a major role. So instead of this, what I'll do, I'll make it 45. See now? So am I actually reduced the dimension of your device too much? From 450 width to 45 width, again retain the same dimension, same ratio. Because if I change the ratio, my current will change. So I don't want that to happen, which will change my gain also. Shall I run it now? What should happen now? From where? From 80 to 800 should happen typically. So ideally speaking, let us see what happens. Let me just run. See now it has extended. Can you see the increment there? So now you just go here, try to see what is the bandwidth. Are you there close to 859? From 85 you gone to 859 kilohertz, increase by 10 times. Correct? Okay, what I'll do, let me I'm a bit greedy, let me further reduce, make it 4.5 and 0.1. Again keep the ratio same. What can happen? Let us make it 4.5 and this has 0.1. The ratio is again 45. Save it and run. What I'll do is, let me just simulate for much more frequency, larger frequency. What I'll do, where do I do that? I have to go to this and increase this frequency from the end frequency from 10 megahertz to maybe 100 megahertz or maybe 50 megahertz. Getting the point? Let me run it again. How much is expected frequency, cutoff frequency? 8 megahertz. Correct? Hello. From 800k, it is 10 times more what we are expecting. Let us see what the bandwidth is. Let us take this. Are we looking at 3 dB down? Are you there almost? You are there almost. Correct? Okay. Now this is fine. So what we'll do is, we'll just see the impact of what is that? Source resistance, very source resistance. Okay. Okay, you can make it 1U and then let us make it 45U. Correct? Done. This is 1U, 45U. This is save. What is F1, F2's? F1 is 3 kilohertz, sorry 3 hertz, and F2 is 80 kilohertz. Correct? Because we went to the origin value. This is, sorry, it was 450, no? Sorry, it is 450 and then 450 and 10. Okay, now it is 80 and 3.4 hertz. Correct? See now this is 840, sorry, this is 84, 85 kilohertz. See here, and this is 3 hertz. Let me change this resistance to 100k and 80k. What is the value now?